Kamunya. Pap, pap.
He's awake! Lenny... Lynette...
We're all here.
Where?
The infirmary, at the Fortress of Meripede, Mr. Fremennik. How do you feel? Don't put—
Traveler... The sea! There's something wrong with this...
Shh, it's okay.
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. Pipes... Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now. I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. It looks abandoned. Where could Master Child be?
Hmm. Oh, okay, no, that's not. You would regret soal you. What?
This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it? It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it.
Oh!
This is where the water starts. Master Child probably dived into the water. I'll go take a look as well. The vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. There are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait. What the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's going on? No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it. I can't die here. I have to push on.
So, in other words,
That's right. I tried my best to swim back.
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly.
Miss Clorand, you say?
You're still too weak, Femine. You can. Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande.
a guest. Then I can assume Rise.
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able to Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on.
No, please go on without me.
Ernie.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't.
Understood. In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now. As long as you stay in here, I don't think you'll be disturbed.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Aku nak pull ni. Shit. Tepu standard manner. Betul-betul habis tepu. Shit lah cik. Dah biar keluarlah kamu. Mai. Apa buku pula. Menatang deket betul nak bagi Navia. Dia macam tak nak tau. Macam malu-malu gitu kita ni. Dah dapat weapon dia lah. Lawa weapon dia. Oh. Warna emas tu. Betul. Spina di Rasulullah. Wah ni. Sekejap lawa. Lagi.
Excuse me.
I take it Mr. Fremonet's condition has stabilized?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Sejuin?
Wanted to check up on Miss Claran. How are you feeling?
Mostly fine, I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick...
All right. Thank you for looking out for me. I'll take my leave for now, then.
Well, want to explain yourself, Risley?
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. But where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get answered the most.
Then Paimon will begin. Did you know about Lenny's goals from the very beginning?
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goals, I only figured those out as you made progress on your investigation.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to do?
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning what that kind of
Muka
behavior
Rider Slay
signals.
macam muka lelaki orang steril tu apa nama dia?
Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape, but in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place, he did on his own. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went, so I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work. All I care.
So you were hoping Lenny's group would just do your work for you?
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, the Forbidden Zone has always been Lenny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety.
Are the rumors true? That you're also a former criminal?
Now, why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest of the inmates.
Oh, right.
Me, of course. I paid her good mora to come down to the fortress for some field work. As a champion duelist, Miss Claran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
And saving Fremine was part of that crisis?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, he probably would have found the missing Harbinger already. That's not something you should be asking after. Neuvillette only asked you to investigate. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us. Isn't it about time that you...
You make a compelling case. Do you really want to know the answer that badly?
Yeah, Paimon really wants to know.
Even if the truth may not be pleasant? Follow me.
Aduh, payah benar dapat ni Primogen.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of place the Fortress of Meripede is. Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism? Whoa!
Is that got a? That datang is that lagi kencing apa?
So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special.
Eh,
What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's... Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little...
Well, I'm almost...
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place.
what the fuck is this flavor?
So there's a switch on the side!
Stand back.
What's the camera?
Whoa! They all just went up one...
Go on, have a look.
Chippy chippy chapa chapa ruby ruby lava lava tana 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 tana.
I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential... The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place.
Alhamdulillah.
But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimally. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking? Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of them. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from... Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can...
The concentration of...
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising. Yes.
But forget about the two of us! Not even Lord knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak. Oh.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For the indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all. Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
Is that? Bila aku tanya, kau tak movie dekat mana?
Weird.
Movie pirate.
Why would the Fortress of Mirapede be built right above a sluice gate for the
Apa dia?
primordial sea? Who
Dunia
built this
satu.
place anyway?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Your expression tells me
Aku
you
play
think
for
this might
police
be
sekarang.
part of a vast, complicated conspiracy.
Chill.
To be honest,
Dia
you
orang,
might find
dia
the
orang.
actual answer
Dia
may
tu
be exceedingly
penjahat.
boring. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by
Hey,
the nation
kau
before
salah
I
main aku
rediscovered
aja
it
tu
with
dah.
my
Kenal tak?
research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Mirapede in any traditional
Gila
sense.
bapak lama apa boleh cerita
What we know
keluar-keluar
about
lagi.
its history has
Member
been
dah
left to us by the
main
people
buat
who
kerja
used to live
delivery.
here. When the
Datang
previous
keluar dekat
Hydro
mereka.
Archon Egeria ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. Criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go guard my secret deep underneath the waves." And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, as the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress, and with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves, but as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their wither after many, many centuries. Few people, now and again, researchers managed to bring...
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as, to be frank, not really. But sad prophecies are troublesome things. Let's go somewhere else.
Apa panjang member Yeti penat aku ngantuk aku sahabat. The prophecy blah blah blah. Ada blah blah ego blah. Ada
This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone. Huh? Lorvine?
No need to panic, you two.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul?
I'm skeptical as well.
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin? Good. So Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier...
You want to blow up?
Ah, what a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Jeez, forget I said anything then. Follow me.
What the fuck?
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Not much at all.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of
Izzat,
ancient
nak tengok
Lemuria.
cerita ni Izzat.
To
Godzilla.
give you a quick
Shin
rundown,
Godzilla.
according to legend, the Lemurian
Kata
king
Shin Godzilla.
Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibyl. He called his nation Lemuria.
There's a ship in the story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my... So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath...
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship? As the fortress's administrator? Alright, that's enough talking for now. Seems like you're good. I'll leave you here for now.
Oh,
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw.
yeah. We'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great.
Nampak murah. Kau nak buat apa dengan murah? Gila terkekep nama. Reverse.